Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and if it's not, well, what am I doing wrong here? I'm going to work on that. Anyway, it's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto Perez is the owner of the La Palapa group of restaurants. Those are the La Palapa, the El Dorado restaurant, and at night for dinner, the El Dorado transforms into the Vista Grill. That is the Vista Grill that we've all grown to know and love over the years. The one that used to be up on the hill. Well, now it has a new Vista. It's right on the beach where you get the same Vista Grill menu, the fantastic Vista Grill service, and what's best is it's right there on the beach with a dramatic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night with beautiful colors. It's just so pretty. And you can enjoy your dinner under the stars with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic, you guys. It's so Puerto Vallarta. Today we have a special show, but first, what's happening in Puerto Vallarta this week, the 4th of July, 2017? Uber is here, and the battle has begun, folks. Now, last week, just as I was recording the podcast, Uber was launching service in Puerto Vallarta. I announced that to all of you at that time, and Uber now is all along the Bahia de Banderas. They're operating in Nayarit, up in Nueva Vallarta, and above, of course, as well as Puerto Vallarta, Cabo Corrientes, south of the Ameca River, down in Jalisco. So they're up and running, and it's been a pretty exciting week, and battle lines were drawn. Tempers were on the rise, along with the temperatures and the humidity in the air, and boy, it's getting warm. It's quite a combo. There were some road closures that were planned by the unions, but not many of them materialized. There were some incidents of violence with cab drivers versus Uber drivers. We saw some broken windows, car windows. There were some punctured tires. We saw some roadblocks, and we even saw some taxi drivers, mistakenly figures that someone was an Uber driver and they weren't, and really did a number on someone's car. So, tempers are on the rise, and many unkind words were exchanged. But look, the taxi union, they still believe that Uber doesn't have the authorization to operate in Vallarta. And, well, I'm sure it's a big surprise to the new Vallarta Uber drivers, that's for sure. Now, I've seen reports of taxi drivers being more accurate in quoting rates to fare seekers, but still, there are a large contingent of folks here who have really had it with the taxi union. They make promises and then they don't follow through. They're welcoming Uber with open arms. And the rates that I'm seeing being charged by the new Uber drivers is lower than the taxi rates are going to be. You don't need cash. And, well, there are definite benefits to going the Uber route, that's for sure. But we'll see how things shake out. Personally, I will not use Uber when I'm in Puerto Vallarta. I will use taxi cabs. But I don't know. Maybe I will use Uber once or twice just to see what it's like and report back to you guys. I guess I won't say that I won't use Uber, right? That's wrong. So next time I am in Vallarta, I will give it a try, and I'll report back to you guys. But until then, we'll all sit back and we'll wait and see what is going to actually happen with Uber here in Puerto Vallarta. But it seems to me that Uber is here, and although the taxi union would like us to believe that they don't have permission, they seem to be here and here to stay. And I have a link to the Uber service in Puerto Vallarta in my show notes of this episode, number 26 of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. Okay, now it's July, and folks, if you are headed to Puerto Vallarta this time of year, you really need to be prepared for rain in the evenings, and the temperature has gone up a notch. Lots of heat, lots of humidity during the daytimes. I have a quick clip from JR, who talked with me about how hot it can actually get in the tropics during the summertime. So let's listen in, shall we? All right, now I've never been there in June. Tell me about the heat.
You know, I love it when it rains, because before it rains, it can be really sticky. I mean, the humidity builds up. I mean, that's what produces the rain eventually. And when it rains, and then after it rains, the humidity drops quite a lot, and also the temperature, and it's very pleasant after that. But, oh boy, before then, it can be hot and humid. I once lived in a little casita that had a what they call a laminar roof, which is like what you would call a corrugated roof.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to living underneath a radiator.
Wow.
And I had ceiling fans, but which weren't much use because they just blew the hot air down onto me. I remember one particular day when it was really unbearable and it didn't rain, where I had 7 showers in the day.
Oh, boy. So
One at midnight.
all right. So June is tough.
Yeah. It's sticky. And, you know, I mean, if you're in a hotel with AC, then fine. I personally don't like air conditioning. I don't think it's very healthy. I lived for 2 years in Calcutta, which can get much the same, if not worse. And walking into a club there with the AC was, you know, where my whole sweaty shirt and pants and everything just froze on me. I don't think that's very healthy.
I imagine not. Wow. Okay. So now we all know what the on season is and what the off season is, but you say come anytime.
Yeah, because you know, in the summer, if it gets unbearable, I mean, if you're a tourist in a hotel or a resort, well, just sit in the pool. I mean, even when it rains, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So
actually, you know, people get wet here. They don't, as I said, they don't use umbrellas very much. You know, you get wet and you dry out, and it's rather pleasant to get cool.
Yeah, it's a seaside town. Everybody should be getting wet over there.
Right.
All right. Well, Okay, and you can catch the rest of that conversation with JR on an episode number 3 of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, where we talk about weather and bugs and all kinds of other stuff like that. So you'll need to check that out, and to do that, you go to www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, and there it will be. I saw some pictures of this suspension bridge that I just had to have JR come back and give me a report on. It's the Jorullo, all right, Jorullo. You figure out how you pronounce that. Jorullo suspension bridge. And JR sent me an article a couple months back about the bridge. and it was built by the folks over at Canopy River, Zipline Adventure Tours. And anyway, my buddies Jennifer and Dee went with JR over there and checked it out, and they passed on some really good information to me. And I spoke with Edgar Lopez over at Canopy River, and we're going to have that episode coming up really soon. Maybe even next week, we'll see. But the bridge is it's huge, it's long, it's 4 football fields long or something like that, and it's suspended over the Quale River Gorge. And JR walked the length of it, or almost walked the entire length of it, and they drive vehicles over it, like their ATVs and their trucks, and, you can walk, of course, you can walk right across it as well. They charge for that. There is a charge for that, but we're going to hear a little bit about that bridge, and we're going to hear about Canopy River and the different tours that they have, and I think that's going to come along sometime next week. So we'll bring Edgar on, and like I said, it's going to be fun. Okay, well, I hadn't looked at the latest reviews that you guys have written up about the show on iTunes lately, but I looked, and lo and behold, I came across this one, and it really made me smile. And it's from Tommy Fern. And Tommy says, it gives me 5 stars. This was written on May 17th. Been considering PV as a possible retirement location and have a week vacation planned there in a few days to check things out. Just found these podcasts a few days ago, and I can't stop listening to them. So interesting and very helpful. My wife and I have been studying up on different places for the past 6 months, and we keep coming back to PV as a place most likely for us. And everything I hear on these podcasts confirm the same conclusions we've been coming to about why PV. Hey, how about that, Tommy? Well, that's pretty cool. I wish that that I was at that retirement stage, Tommy. We could be neighbors for sure. So anyway, let us know how things turn out. Maybe you can come on the show and let us know what you found out and what you found here in paradise. Anyway, that was really cool, wasn't it? I love getting good reviews and hearing from all of you guys. So anyway, I made it really easy for you to reach out. You can contact me by sending an email, by clicking on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, or do like Tommy did and go and write me a good review on iTunes. Just go to any of my blog posts at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com and look for the subscribe and review links in big red text. Click on it. Leave a good review on iTunes if you would. I'd really appreciate it. Any kind words that you can leave is truly appreciated. Really. And speaking of reaching out and leaving a good review, well, my guests this week did both. Ray and Cherie Tessman are from Wisconsin, and Ray is a firefighter in Kenosha, and Cherie is a paralegal. And I got an email from Ray a few months ago, and I actually read it on the show, and it went like this. First off, let me introduce myself. My name is Ray, and I'm from Wisconsin. My wife Cherie and I feel the same way that you and many others feel about Puerto Vallarta. It was my wife and I's first trip together when dating back in 2001. We've been coming back almost every year since. We travel to other locations sometimes, but always make time to return to Puerto Vallarta. Through the years, we've met many friends, both local and north of the border. We enjoy some of our old favorites and always find new places of interest. As time goes on, we're lucky to be able to spend more time there. We're up to 2 weeks. We're very lucky, but always look forward to returning after we get home. Thank you for your shows. I enjoy listening to them. I know that you asked for suggestions, so I wanted to sit down and type you up a correspondence about some of our favorite places. And some of them are, and then I put ... because, well, I asked Ray if I asked Ray if I could send him a microphone. And he and Cherie he said that he and Cherie were going to be in Puerto Vallarta in May. And it just so happened that, hey, I was going to be there too. So I said, let's meet and we'll do the interview right there in Puerto Vallarta rather than me sending a microphone off to him in Wisconsin. So when they got into town, Ray let me know that he and Cherie were going to be having drinks over at Plaza Romy at Twisted Palms after dinner, and I should come by and have a few drinks and talk PV stuff and make arrangements to get together to record our interview. So that was cool because I actually needed to interview the owner of Twisted Palms, Al Sellers. And actually, you can hear that interview in the episode about Plaza Romy that I did a couple of weeks back. Anyway, I got to Twisted Palms. I looked around this big bar, and it's a lovely bar that Al has there. And I'm looking around at the people seated around the bar trying to decide who Ray and Cherie are. It was kind of funny. Anyway, I was surprised to see that they were the youngest, one of the youngest couples there. They were so young looking, and I was surprised because, they've been going to Puerto Vallarta for a long time. And so I figured that they'd be closer to my age. But, well, Ray is this big, strapping firefighter, and Cherie is this beautiful, tiny little thing. And they're such a great couple. And I asked if they wanted to come up to the hood, up to my Airbnb to do the interview, and they graciously offered to have me come to their condo at the Vista del Sol condo complex right on the ocean, overlooking Playa Los Muertos, and of course the Malecon as well. And it's a beautiful property, and well, I'm pretty glad they didn't come to my humble apartment. Looking back at it, I'm sure they definitely would have been unimpressed. That's for sure. Anyway, let's go to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, to the 7th floor of the Vista del Sol condos in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. All right, I am here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I'm sitting in a beautiful condominium right on the water with my friends Ray and Cherie Tessman and their listeners to the podcast. Thanks for coming on with me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Barry.
You are both from Wisconsin. Got an email from you and said, hey, I think I got something to share about Puerto Vallarta, and indeed you do, which is why I'm here with you guys. So you're on vacation. Where are we now? What's this condo?
We're in the Vista del Sol. We're in condo 706, and we're staying here for 2 weeks.
Lucky you guys. It's right on the water. It's nice.
It is. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about yourselves. Tell my audience about yourselves, and then we'll get right into talking about Puerto Vallarta. So who wants to start?
We're, as you said, from Wisconsin, just south of Milwaukee. Ray's a firefighter in Kenosha. I'm a paralegal. We have a 20-year-old son, so he's back home. Which allows us the time to come down for 2 weeks and spend the time. Cool.
So you're a firefighter, huh?
I am for the city of Kenosha.
Hey, have you ever gone to, done a little bit of checking out what goes on here in the fire department?
I have been lucky enough to. When we rented from Jeff Musto in the Plaza Mar 7-8 years ago, we met up with a retired firefighter from Waterloo, Iowa, and his wife. We became fast friends, and he had a relationship with the fire department here. His department would actually donate their used or older equipment that they would replace to the fire department here to help them out.
Wow. Okay, so this guy was not persona non grata. This guy was like a star here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to go there. I met the chief. I met the guys that were there. And it was very interesting how they respond to fires here, especially with the construction of the homes and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. The ambulances are run out of the hospitals the way I understand, and I've seen them there. Mm-hmm. So they were strictly firefighters. They had a pump, mostly responding like a pickup truck with just some turnout gear and a pump can. And a bunch of them would actually be lifeguards during the day and then they would go back to the station at night and be firefighters.
Well, these were moonlighters, huh?
Yes, and but they worked for the fire department. That was just part of their job, so they had a limited amount of coverage during the day and then more coverage in the evening.
Ah, very, very interesting. Wow. Tell us about maybe your first trip here. When did you first come to Puerto Vallarta?
We first came here in the year 2000. Just decided to take a trip.
It's before I went to paramedic school, and so we wanted to go over and go on a trip. We were still dating.
Uh-huh.
We were looking around, and it just so happened that Puerto Vallarta had a good travel deal, and we thought, hey, let's go there. And we did a resort in Nuevo. At the time, it was called Solare. Now it's called Samba. I went over and I checked it out once to see if it was still open. It's still there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there for a couple days. We were having fun. I mean, we were in our early 20s. And we came to town on a bus ride and thought, wow, this is where we want to be. And we came back like 3 or 4 more times. We really had a lot of fun downtown.
So you were in Nuevo, and then you decided, let's go hop on a bus and just check out the town. And then you went, dude, what are we doing up here?
Absolutely.
All right.
We've never stayed in Nuevo again.
Wow. All right. Well, this is a good ad for you guys here that are south of the river. Good. So the next time you came back, where did you stay?
We stayed here at the Vista del Sol, a different condo. We were invited with some friends to come down here, that they come every January. And we looked forward really to coming back to Puerto Vallarta. They also knew the area, so they were going to show us around a little bit more than us just walking around being new. And they kind of showed us the ropes, and it kind of just went from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you get to know the place, then you get more comfortable, and yeah, I mean that's natural, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and over the years, it's been really neat to see things change, but yet some stay the same, or some of the familiar faces. Old Town, it's a small area, so you end up seeing some of the same people year after year.
Whether they're national or they're just vacationers that vacation approximately the same time you do. Cherie's really good on the Facebook and all that stuff, so she keeps track of, they all keep track of each other, and hey, we're going down that or not. We've met up with people multiple times. Mm-hmm. We've made some really good friends over the years.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thread here, in that people like to share paradise with others, places that they like and know, and Puerto Vallarta is definitely one of those places. So let's talk a little bit about some of the tours that you've taken. Well, before that, it sounds like you're just mostly, you do condos mostly, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yes.
Okay, now you find them. How do you go about booking them?
We've used PVRPV. We've used Jeff Musto as the PV kid. I've used VRBO. And now that we've gone to the Vista del Sol, we've stayed at 5 different condos here.
I think so.
We have some friends that we know. When I say friends, just people we know that own condos here, and you're able to email them and figure out who's got one available for our time period.
Mm-hmm.
Work out a price, buy some airfare, and here we are.
And bada bing,
Yep.
bada boom. Here you go. Excellent. All right. Yeah, I actually rented my Airbnb that I'm staying in from Jeff Musto. So I know Jeff, and I think I'm going to go talk to a
PVRPV.
Thank you, PVRPV. So we'll have a conversation with them. I think that would be good. Now, let's get to the tours. What kind of tours have you guys taken? Because I understand you've probably taken a bunch of them.
We've taken a handful, not as many as you'd think. We did the Magalente twice, the booze cruise with the pirate ship. It was the first time when we first came here. And then another couple wanted to go, and we said, sure, we haven't done this for a while. We'll go there again.
Right, so that's the one, you guys, that is the pirate ship that comes... well, it's a dinner cruise, right? They take
We
you
did
out.
the evening one. We didn't do the day one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
correct.
Okay. And then it kind of culminates where they kind of float around in front of the Malecon and shoot off fireworks and have like a little duel or something with the pirates, or having a little fun there. And
Yep, there's a couple little shows on
There's
board
some
that they
shows.
do.
Cherie likes taking pictures of fish and stuff like that, the dolphins and stuff like that.
Try
so
to.
right, yeah, they don't sit still for you.
No, they don't.
How'd you like that tour?
It was good. It's been a few years since we've done it, but it was good.
The service was good. The people treated us very well. I couldn't complain about it.
Okay, so the food was good. There was enough booze. They didn't,
Yes,
They
they
weren't
didn't cut us
stingy.
short on anything like that.
Okay.
Another tour we did was we did the bar crawl when the first time we came here, and most of those bars are gone now. Carlos O'Brien's, Senior Frogs that was down in Old Town here. There was one by the marina we went to. I couldn't even tell you where that was. The zoo, which is quite a bit different than it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that was probably gave us a little taste too. Once we were downtown, we wanted to kind of get shown around a little bit more than where we knew. So they showed us, and we knew it was going to be tourists, but it was fine for us. And then the other tour we did was we went to the bullfights when the bull ring was still open.
Oh, wow.
And Cherie didn't know that they killed the bull at the end.
I did not know that, but I found out.
Lo siento. Very, very sorry.
Yeah. And
the
it was an
bull, too.
experience. Yeah, it was sorry for the bull. Exactly. It was an experience. Not a bad one. I think once we saw it, we were good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, right now they're doing some work on the outside of the bull rink. I mean, last time I was here, it looked a mess, and now at least it looks like they're tidying it up. I don't know what they got planned for it. I don't know. Maybe like a swap meet or something. Who knows?
We asked the taxi driver, and his answer was, "It's closed."
Está cerrado. All right. So those would be the three that you would say. I mean, three that you've taken anyway.
Yeah, we've known people that did zip lining and stuff. I don't mind that kind of stuff, but we can do that back in the States also. So I kind of like doing stuff that we can't do other places.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've taken some hikes. I know that you actually yesterday you went on a hike that I took a couple of days ago, and you've taken that hike several times, and that's the one from Boca to Las Animas?
Yes. Last year was our first year. We very much enjoyed it. We went with a group of people that take their dogs. We got invited along, so we said, sure, we'll give it a whirl. And it wasn't terrible, but I should say terrible. But it was nice. It was a workout, but not
An over workout.
Right. You both could make it. It wasn't,
absolutely.
You didn't put up your hand and say, I give, I'm done.
Just make sure you have some water along.
Right. Although they do have spots to stop. Tell us about that hike. You want to tell everybody about it?
Well, yesterday it was dry. Being on the weekend, it was a Saturday. There was more people there. So we were walking along, catching up with the group, passing, or they would pass us on a break. The one spot by Bar Ocean, is it? There was actually a place set up where you could buy water, beer. I don't know if that's every day. I think it was probably just for the weekend.
Yeah, probably so. I didn't see it the other day during the week.
But they had stuff there. They had some munchies, or I think we had our own water, so we didn't stop and talk to them.
Well, you're a firefighter. You came prepared.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
All right. Yeah, of course you did. You were telling me about an app that you were using yesterday that was pretty cool, and I want you to share that with everybody.
Yeah, there's an app out there called Galileo Pro, and I had read it on some travel website.
Wait. Now. Did you say Galileo Pro?
Galileo Pro.
Okay, Galileo Pro. Okay.
And I found it on a travel website that was one of those must-haves. It doesn't use Wi-Fi or your cellular service. As a matter of fact, when I was walking, I had my phone on airport or flying mode.
Mm-hmm. Airplane mode,
so it was all turned off. And it uses the satellites, and it'll get you pretty close, within 10 or 15 feet. I used it when we took on a couple other trips that I needed to find out where we were at. As a matter of fact, it actually works on the air while you're flying down here.
Oh, really?
If you wanted to see how high you are and how fast you're going, and how far away you are from where you're going, your next stop. It was interesting. I decided to try it while we're doing the hike yesterday, and it actually has the path on there that you can follow. And I didn't need it, but I was kind of just checking it out, and it kept us right on the entire time.
Wow. So did you just, when you say it has the path, do you say Boca to Las Animas, or how do you, or you just kind of walk up to the beginning of the trail and then here it is on your app? Yeah,
it'll show it like a street, only it was a dotted line rather than a line.
Okay.
It's like using Google Maps, except it doesn't have the satellite version. It just has the overlay. It'll tell you, like in Puerto Vallarta here, it'll tell you the streets. It'll tell you a lot of the restaurants and bars that are in the area. doesn't tell you much more than just the name.
Okay.
You have to do your own research on that. But while using it on the path, if you thought, well, I'm not quite sure where we're at, you could pull it out. It takes a couple moments for it to find out where you're at with the app open, and it tracked us right down where we were at. And hey, we've got another, 2,000 feet till Bar Ocean is where first time I pulled it out just to see where we're at.
Yeah. All right. That sounds like a great app, and you could probably use it all around town. Neat. That got you around. I understand you were in Cuba. That got you around Havana too.
It got us around Havana. That's why I was looking for it, because the streets are very, very poorly marked. And I literally took out our travel guide and just put little pin drops where we wanted to go, and the number of the page that was the travel guide. So we'd be like, oh, it's going to be X Cafe, whatever it was. Check on page 105. Oh, yeah, that's something that we want to check out.
Okay.
It worked very well.
Nice. Okay. Now, you've been here a lot, right? At least once a year since you started coming here in 2000. So
a couple years we missed, but probably this is our 14th time here.
Okay. So you've probably seen a couple of interesting things, or maybe had some fun experiences that maybe you would like to share with us in that period of time. You got anything that you can share with our listeners?
Cherie, would you like to talk about
It's a family show, so...
we'll try to keep it.
Okay, please keep it, yeah. Keep it clean.
Well, last year we were invited with a group of people. We went about 3 hours north, and then we beach hopped all the way back. And that was a very neat experience.
We started at Rincon Goyobitos, and we hit a bunch of beaches, and we were gone all day. There was ones that were busy. There was ones that were we were the only ones there. It was great.
So did you take a car, or did you get a van?
SUV.
Or okay.
One of the other people had an SUV to use, and we all jumped in it and chipped in money for gas and had a good time.
Okay.
Went to San Francisco, but it's also known as
San Pancho.
San Pancho.
Punta Mita, Celite.
We ended in Bucerias.
Yep.
Okay, and so all of those are beach towns.
Sayulita.
Yep, we said Celite.
So of all those, where you started at, which one did you say?
Rincon Goyabito.
Guayabito. So you started there, and you work your way down. Which of those would you say would be the prettiest beach?
I like the San Francisco the best.
That was my favorite.
Okay, so San Pancho, San Francisco.
Yes.
And there is a marina there now. There was a marina there when you were there, yes?
Yes. The section we were at, we just went down a road until it stopped, and we got out, stopped at a beach bar, ordered a round of drinks, and just went out into the ocean and just checked things out.
So that was the coolest beach of all of those that you would say?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and what about crowds? Was it crowded at all?
No, not at all. I mean, there's beach bars, but they were set off back enough that you still went down, to the beach, and there wasn't many people there. So it was just beautiful.
All right, that sounds good. And then what would you say of all of those places had the most entertainment there, or the most things to do out of all those?
Sayulita, I would think that was pretty busy, even though it was low season. There was it was a neat area to walk around.
But it was busy.
It was busy.
That would probably been, that was the end of May last year.
Now, that's the hippie place, right?
Yes, yeah. And I haven't been there before, but I've been told by many people that it's greatly changed in the past 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
There's been a lot more building going on there.
Right. And so anyway, that is a place where if you want to surf, that's where the surfing happens, over in Sayulita. Okay. And so that would be the one that you would say had the most diverse entertainment going on. What was, how did you like Bucerias?
We had excellent pizza there, but I don't remember what place we went to.
Yeah, it was very good pizza.
And we hung out at the beach a little bit. That was towards the end of the trip, so we didn't spend as much time there, which we got to look around, walk around the city.
So I know what's going on here. So you were all fresh when you started off over there at, San Pancho. And as you're working your way down drinking, by the time you got to Buceria, you said, I don't know what's going on over here. Give me a pizza.
That's probably was similar to that. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Just check. I just thought I'd throw that in there. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. So that was, how long did it take you to get to Guayabitos to drive? Do you remember?
I would say it was close to 3 hours.
All right, so that's a long schlep. All right, so you started off by getting in the car and driving 3 hours, and then just boom, 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 all the way down.
Correct.
All right. I would say that's probably pretty fun. That's probably a pretty good use of your time for a day, I would think, right?
We were able to see things that we normally, in all our other years here, haven't been able to see and experience.
We would do it again.
Yeah.
We would do it again.
Totally. All right, well, all right, you guys. So this is another thing now. Just because you're staying, in town or in Nuevo or south. I mean, if you're all the way down at at Mismaloya even, this is something that you can arrange to do. And if you look at my website, you go to Puerto Vallarta travelshow.com and you look at I think it's episode 5. We talk about taking buses, or episode 4. Where you can actually take a bus all the way up there if you wanted to, But I kind of like your idea. Go find some guy who's got a nice car and take you up there. Right? I'm going to have a show with some guy. I'm going to have a show with the driver, by the way. I'm going to be meeting him. We'll talk to him about that. All right. So, what other things have you done that are unusual, or maybe just something different that you liked?
The firefighter that retired, his name was Dave, his wife's name was Deb. They came down here a couple times a year, and they actually adopted a family that they helped out.
Ah.
And he's a taxi driver, and she cut hair out of the home. And they had a couple children, and we got to know them. And once they got to know us, we actually got invited to their home on a weekend, and the guys went shopping. It was over by where the tunnel exits. Mm-hmm. And we went to this open-air market and picked up chicken and vegetables and tortillas and all that. And then the girls went over and cooked while we went over and made drinks. And we got to eat in their home, meet their family. The meal was excellent. The friendship was excellent. Mm-hmm. It was a great way to see the culture a little bit.
Just to be invited into their home was an experience.
And an honor.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had also just bought her a washing machine, which she was very excited about.
Absolutely. When they brought it in, she actually cried, they said. So she was so happy.
Of course she cried, because she's been washing clothes by hand her whole life.
Absolutely.
I'd cry too.
They had, the year before, they had helped build a second story on their home to give them a little more room because their children were growing up, becoming teenagers and stuff like that. So talk about pride in your home and stuff like that. They were so proud to show it, and it was humbling. Mm-hmm. It was humbling.
Neat. And so they live close to town. Sounds like they're up in Colosso area there.
Yeah, I actually looked on the map before we talked about this, and I wasn't really sure if it was. I wasn't sure what that area was called.
It doesn't matter. We don't have to tell on them. All right, cool. Any others that you can kind of bring to mind?
It's hard to rein it all in, but more in general, it'd be just the friends that we've made over the years. And the things that we've done with them, or just met up with and met more and more of their family. Whether they were a waiter that helped you out with stuff and it just became a friendship, or just people you met up with. That is an experience that we both cherish, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great meeting friends. It's great learning about the culture, and just people are just so friendly around here. They really are. All right. Let's talk about food, because a lot of us come here to eat. I'm one of them. And when we were talking earlier, we were talking about, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I was asking you for, some of your choices, and Ray tells me that, we don't eat much breakfast. So, but when you do eat breakfast, what do you do?
A lot of times what we have is we have breakfast right in the condo. Cherie is a coffee woman. She loves her coffee. She actually brings it down here. I run down to a bakery around the corner just up from Joe Jack's called Yazmir.
Yeah.
And they have turnovers and stuff like that. We really, really like the Mexican bakeries.
Ray likes the Mexican bakeries because it's not as sweet.
Yeah, that's right. They don't really lay on the sugar that much. That's a great little bit. It's a big bakery. It's not a little bakery.
It's a bigger bakery.
And they're open kind of all day. In fact, I think they were open last night until like 9 o'clock or something like that. So they're open all day long, and that's a great stop for you guys. I mean, if you can't get the pie lady walking up and down the street, walking up and down the Malecon, which I got to tell you, if you're into pie, so, stop her, or say C when she wants you to, when she asks if you want some. But that's a great bakery.
We have hit Freddy's Toucan. It's been a while. We really like it because it's close by here. I like pancakes once in a while, so.
Yeah, so every once in a while you'll
We'll
acquiesce.
venture out once, yeah.
Meet up with people. A lot of times, okay, let's meet for breakfast. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. All right. So how about lunches? What do you guys like?
Figueroa's is our favorite.
All right. Tell me about Figueroa's.
Makes Qdoba look like Taco Bell.
All right. What do you order when you go there? It's Figueroa's Burritos, right?
Yes, and they used to have a restaurant on the corner. Unfortunately, lost their lease, so they're right next door, and they have a couple tables on the sidewalk, which doesn't bother me at all. I enjoy it no matter what.
It's a good people watching spot, right?
Actually, that's the last stop we make before we go. If we fly home, they open at like 9 a.m., and I will run up there, get us a couple burritos, and we'll eat them right here in the condo as we're packing up our stuff, getting ready to go home.
Oh, talk about a plan already done. All right, so what kind of burrito do you get?
Adobada.
Adobada.
You?
Ray does the ordering.
Okay.
No onions for Cherie.
Okay. All right. Any other lunches?
Los Muertos Brewery. We're from Wisconsin, so we like beer. And we like trying different beer. So we go there, and they have a lunch
Slice
special.
of pizza and beer.
Yep. For a lunch special every day.
And it's a good size slice of pizza.
Yes.
Yeah. And how's their beer?
It's good. It's good. When they first got there, I knew they had some problems. They were a little inconsistent, but it's hard to get cold water here. So I know they had to invest a lot of time and energy to go over, and money, to go over and make sure they got real consistent beer. But they have I like them. I like them a lot.
Okay, that's Los Muertos, and they're right on the corner. I don't know this street off the top of my head, so I won't even try. But I'm going to link all these things that Ray and Cherie are talking about. They'll be linked on my blog page for this particular episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. Of course, you'll find it at puertovallartatravelshow.com. What other lunch things?
Derby burger.
I sat down there last night. I wanted a burger so bad. He says, we're somos cerrados. I'm like, oh, no. Your sign says you're open till 11. You lie. All right, so tell everybody about Derby Burger. Derby Burger.
I really, really like their hamburgers. I like the one with the fried egg on. And their shakes are fantastic.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So good. It's usually towards the end of the trip when you're not having to fit into a bathing suit.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a hefty portion that they serve there.
And it's so good.
I cut the burger in half right off the bat, and I only eat half, and then I save the other half. And that's sometimes breakfast the next morning.
Wow. I eat the whole thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
God,
if you were sitting here across from Ray, you'd look at him and go, Ray, you'd eat 2 of those. I'm not talking about that kind of big. He is tall, and he is buff, and man, I mean, don't meet Ray in a dark alley. That's all I can tell you right now. No, he's too nice. I'm kidding. All right. All right, so Derby Burger. What other things do they have? They have fries, and they have sweet potato fries, I believe. And
they got onion rings too, right?
Yeah.
Onion rings here?
I think they have pickle chips.
Oh, my God. Forgot about pickle chips.
Oh, don't forget the pickle chips. All right. And they make salads there, you guys, believe it or not. So if you didn't want, the big old beefy burger, they'll make you a salad too. All right. Any other lunches?
Not that we can think of. There's a lot of good places, but
Otherwise, the taco stands are always, you just need that little bit.
the taco
Just a
stands
little taste.
are my favorite.
Yeah, right. All right. So we'll get to taco stands. Let's talk about dinner. Where do you guys like to eat dinner?
El Brujo, Cherie loves.
Okay. El Brujo, Restaurante El Brujo, which has been around a long, long time.
Long time.
Last year we found Eat at Dave's, where sometimes on Sundays it's Thanksgiving, the turkey dinner.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for turkey.
Yeah, well, they had the sign out there today. I'm staying right down the street from Eat at Dave's, so just in case you need turkey today, they'll have it.
Oh, we'll probably be there.
All right, so that's home food, right? Eat at Dave's. That's fairly new. That's a fairly new joint. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
As far as we know, yes.
And that's American style home cooking. You know, you find stuff like meatloaf there, and I don't know, fried chicken.
Yep. And steak. And when you go there, they are super friendly. It was the first time we went there. It was nice. It was really nice.
Wow, I'll have to stick my
It
head
was like
in
eating
there.
at Grandma's house. It
Yep.
really was.
Very good service, great food.
Okay. And the owners, are they Mexican, American, Canadian? Do you know?
Mexican.
Mexican. I think it was mom cooking and the son was waiter.
Wow. So these are Mexican owners cooking American style food.
I think.
You think? Well, we'll find out. All right,
Yeah.
I'll stick my head in there. I'll find out. I'm the nosy one here. I'll figure it out.
Cafe Deola,
Yes.
that's a very good restaurant.
Yep.
And what do they serve there?
We had Mexican food there.
Yeah. They have quite a lengthy menu.
That's a good point. There's quite a lengthy menu there.
There's something for everyone, and I think they have some American dishes. They have, your typical authentic Mexican food.
They've been around a long, long, long time. They're on Basilio Baldillo, and yeah, they're very, very famous, I guess, for their wonderful Mexican food and their menu. And they've been there. I think they've been there for 40 years, 30 years or 40 years.
They have a section that was air conditioned too. Last year we were pretty warm. Usually it doesn't happen to us, but it was nice just sitting down a little bit of air conditioning for a little bit and having a meal that day.
They didn't just do the Mexican air conditioning, set a fan on you?
Yeah.
No, they did
Which
something
is
else?
perfectly fine for us almost all the other time.
Yeah.
Cherie and I are we're more simple when we go out to eat. We've gone to very nice restaurants and we like it. We end up kind of just gravitating towards those places that are just more homey, I guess is the best way to say it.
We don't need fancy.
Okay.
So-
All right. Well, that's all right. We want to know about fancy and not fancy. So, that's what it's all about, because, I'll take everybody into the fancy restaurants. I just want to hear from you guys where you
Gotcha.
guys go. Any other dinner ones that you can think of?
Maybe not so much dinner, but maybe a late night tacos panchos. That's a must.
Okay. And so that's like, what do they serve there?
It's
Other than
basically
tacos.
Yeah, it's basically a taco stand that now has a building. I mean, they've been there for a long time. Their tacos al pastor is fantastic. They make
Which is the only thing I've ever had there.
Okay.
They've got stuffed avocados, which are great.
Well, okay, because I walked by there last night again, and it was packed. And there are always people standing outside waiting
For
to
a
sit
table.
down. Yeah, so they must have something going on there.
Yeah, it's good.
It is good.
All right, so we're talking tacos. So taco stands. You got any favorites that you like to go to?
El Flaco, right over by Plaza Romy. They also have very good pastor. And you'll have to look up the name of it because it's not on my tip of my tongue, but the one that's on the same street as the pier. The two brothers run it. It's right by Archie's Walk.
Oh, yeah.
They have tacos El Pastor. We actually stopped there yesterday, and there was taco tours going through. They try to kind of Shanghai us into going along with their taco tour, but we'll take our own. We know where we're going.
Yeah, you can do your own taco tour, right? You can look at those guys and go, hey, you, come with us. Let me show you our taco tour.
And those guys are great, too. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, we did a little shopping. We forgot a bag there with had a T-shirt in it, and they remember us every year. So as soon as we showed up saying, "Oh, we forgot our shirt," it was like the next day, and they're like, "Oh, we got it, no problem." Just looking out for people, which is always really important to Cherie and I. Like patronizing someone that really is. They're going the extra mile. They're doing a service for everybody.
Yeah, nice. All right. So those are your favorite taco stands, and they seem to be fairly close to where we are right now. So it's easy access, right? Mm-hmm. So you sit and eat them on the street. You bring them back to the condo. What do you do?
We've done it both ways. Usually we eat there, but sometimes if we're having a pool day, Ray's nice enough to run down and go get some tacos and bring them back up to the pool. So
we venture out farther than here for eating also, but, we venture out farther, but a lot of times we eat something before we leave because sometimes I get hangry.
Oh, yeah. I know that feeling, believe me.
So, Jeremy, let's get something to eat quick before we go over and do this. So we'll go see places or get on a bus and go places, but a lot of times I guess now that we talk about you, we realize we kind of eat around here. Mm-hmm. And it always changes, so there's always something new we can try.
Yeah. No, that's all. It is always changing, and that's, Los Muertos Brewery. I mean, that's it's a fairly new phenomenon. It's only been here like 3 years, maybe?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
3 or 4 years. So, things come and go.
We've got a list of 3 or 4 things that we still got to hit on our trip that we haven't checked.
All right,
new and just ones that we heard about.
You want to
recently.
share? You want to share those with me?
I did write them down. Let's see here. The Poncho Furter. We're from Wisconsin, so I'm going to go over and try their brats. Go over and we'll taste test
What's it
them.
called? Poncho?
Poncho Furter.
Poncho Furter.
It's right over by Plaza Romeo. It's also just across the street from it. I should look up street names, but
oh, that's okay.
They have their own beer that they're making in
Guadalajara,
Guadalajara, I believe.
Oh,
and then they have some brats and some different sausages, chorizo, Italian, stuff like that. So
okay.
We're looking forward to trying that.
All right.
I found Jorge's Hidden Shrimp Shack on the top of Olis Alice. I've never been there. I want to check it out. In Cuanto, it's down Aguilar Sedan, probably closer to Que Pasa. That looks almost like a home that they converted over, and they're rave on TripAdvisor right now.
Right.
So I got to check that out.
Well, when you walk over there, just wave at me. I'm right up the street from there.
Stand by the window.
That's right. Hey, how you doing? I've been kind of shy to go in there because it looks like a very romantic place, and I'm a solo diner, so I feel kind of funny walking into a place like that. I would like to take one of your tables, please.
Yes.
Just for me. But I want to talk to that guy. It's a beautiful restaurant inside. You'll like it.
I've just seen pictures like on TripAdvisor and stuff like that, so I'm not even sure. I just stumbled across it. So
all right, cool. So those are the 3 that you're looking to hit, and you'll have to let me know how those go.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's see. Is there anything else that maybe we've forgotten that maybe we should be talking about?
Don't miss the taco stands. We talked about it, but don't miss the taco stands.
I mean, that is something that you really need to do. Don't be afraid. Here's the funny thing. I went around and I've been trying to talk to the taco people and saying, hey, I want to do an interview with you. And I think I just got to go up there and just do it instead of ask them, because you ask them. It's same with the hotel places. I was going around trying to interview, hotel managers and to look at some of these economy style hotels, $20 a night places here in Emiliano de Zapata area, and they all say, "Oh, the manager's not here," or whatever it is, and I'm thinking, I just should go over, just talk with them, and just record them, and never mind.
No, I gotcha.
Yeah, but I was telling the lady, she says, "Well, what are you doing here?" And I said, what I'm doing here is I want to tell people that are vacationing that it's okay to stop at a taco stand here and sit down and eat a taco on the side of the street, that they're clean, that they're safe. And the reason I want to talk to you about it is because I want to put a face on, or a voice, on this kind of situation. So people can know that it's safe and you should just do it.
Especially with social media right now, word of mouth is everything. I think you're right on the money, Barry, on that one. I mean, there's every single one that we've went to, it's been somebody pointing like, hey, go check this place out, it's good. and we show up and there's a bunch of people there. Well, right away, I know if there's people there, it's good. If there's not many people there, maybe I might shy away till next time, see what happens. Maybe it's just a slow day. Maybe it's not that great.
Yeah. What would you tell a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta? What kind of advice would you give them?
Forget the all-inclusive, because you miss so much. Get down on the street, walk around, explore, take in the food, take in everything. Take in the street entertainment, the little shows that these locals put on. Take in the beach vendors. Just experience it. Experience their life, the culture, the authentic food, because you don't get that in the all-inclusive.
I agree with you 100%. I guess for me, I would, the mañana mentality, maybe adopt that yourself a little bit. Slow down. Take some time to enjoy that sunset. We try to make it every night. We do make it every night to watch the sunset. Make some new friends also. They're very friendly, like you said here. It's really nice.
Very good. Well, Ray, Cherie, thank you so much for taking time out of your, very busy schedule you got here today. No, I mean, come on. I mean, you're in paradise. You need to go out and do that. So this is very precious time for you guys. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me today.
Well, we really appreciate some of the stuff that you're doing too. The hard work you're putting in made us want to go over and actually talk to you more about it and give you some more information. So thank you for your time.
Right on. Hey, that makes it all worthwhile.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Well, that was a fun interview, wasn't it? Ray and Cherie, I know my listeners are really going to get a lot of great ideas for their next Puerto Vallarta trip. So thanks again for reaching out. Okay, well, that should do it for this week's episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We'll have travel tips, some great restaurant and excursion ideas. We'll have all sorts of great shows planned for you this summer. So anyway, until then, remember, this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and his on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thank you, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to be using someone else, so just do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes if you would. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, I want you to know that, I have links to all the places that we talk about, some interesting pictures too, and all of that and more are contained in my blog posts and in my show notes for each episode of the show. So check it out for sure if you haven't already. All right. So again, thanks to Ray and Cherie for your time in paradise. I'm sure my listeners got a lot of good information from both of you. And thanks for what you do for the people of Wisconsin. They're lucky to have you on the department there in Kenosha, Ray. Check out all of their photos at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, episode 26. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.